Talked to Bateman at the shoot-around today. He said Gonzaga's really good, but you can't show them any fear. If you show them any fear and they go on an early run, that's when teams get blown out. Mark Fuse, the head coach of Gonzaga. The numbers and the accolades are crazy. Here's all you need to know. 558 wins, 120 losses. He wins 82% of his games, Dan.
Flat out first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion, when he gets a chance to be on the ballot.
Marcusson blocks Hachimura from behind, and now we have a jump ball. Mike Dunlop's the head coach of the Lions. It's in his 5th year. He's coached at every level. Coached Division I, coached Division II, coached Division III, coached the Charlotte Bobcats, and coached overseas in Australia. And now finding a home here in Los Angeles. Kispert open on the right wing. Nice hustle by Gonzaga, and Kispert gets it again and gets fouled. What do you think of this pace so far, Dan?
Well, as of now, I think it's really benefited Loyola Marymount. Gonzaga has not been able to get out in transition, which is where they're at their best. They're great in the half court, but they really want to get up and push the pace. LMU wants to slow it down a little bit. LMU actually the 4th slowest pace of any Division I team in the country.
Gonzaga has beaten LMU 20 straight times. Kispert took steps, and a turnover for the Zags.
And that's an area of Kispert's game that is going to continue to have to be worked on and grown. He's a great shooter when he gets his feet set.
Damian Douglas went up against the trees but couldn't get it to go. Now Clark pushing the pace the other way. He's too strong, and Bateman gets the rebound. Number 0 is Eli Scott. Likes to shoot inside, but also pretty good at the assists. He can find people. Bateman, aggressive. James Bateman's averaging over 16 points a game. Coach Dunlap said he has to have a great game, Dan, if they're going to have a chance against the Zags.
I would completely agree. He's a guy that can create his own shot as Hachimura draws the foul underneath on Marcusson. But back to Bateman. He's probably the only guard on this Loyola Marymount ball club that can put the ball on the deck and create something out of nothing. There, he gets his shoulder down low, gets by Perkins. Nice finish.
So Rui Hachimura will go to the free throw line. Averaging over 20 points a game. The most for a Gonzaga player since Adam Morrison in the 05-06 season. And Mo was averaging like 28.
Shared a number of Player of the Year awards that season with J.J. Redick, one of the all-time greats to come out of Spokane and Gonzaga.
So 6-4, Lions on top as Gonzaga gives a little pressure.
I talked a second ago about LMU wants to play at a slower pace. That's how Gonzaga can speed them up. A little three-quarter court pressure, as you saw there.
Now Norvell lost the handle. Turnover again by Gonzaga. Remember, when these two teams played in Spokane, it was pretty close in the first half.
It was. LMU did a good job of getting the game played at their pace, defensively climb up in and make Gonzaga work offensively and get them out of sorts.
Scott switches to the left, and Marcusson tips it in.
But we talked about them playing at a slow pace. This layup as the shot clock expires. You play 29 seconds of good defense, but then give up an offensive putback. Good start for Loyola Marymount.
Good crowd here at Gersten, too. And that'll quiet them a little bit.
Absolutely.
Just as we say that.
Brandon Clark.
Brandon Clark.
He may be the most athletic player outside of Zion Williamson in college basketball this season.
Certainly one of the quickest jumpers. They're going to the big fella, Marcusson, who scores it and gets fouled. Marcuson will get a chance for the three-point play.
Marcuson, a tremendous story. Started playing the game of basketball at the age of 15 in Sweden. He's improved over his 3 years here. But one of the things that you need to do if you're 7'3", you get the ball thrown, keep it high. There he kept it high. Gonzaga's guards trying to double down, not able to affect the shot. Marcuson with a three-point play.
You know what he's really improved too, Dan? And this is hard to improve on, his height. He came in at 7'1" as a freshman, went to 7'2" as a sophomore. He's 7'3".
That's amazing. I came into college thinking I was 6'2", ended leaving at 6 foot.
You went
it
the
worked
wrong
the
way.
other way for me, yeah.
11-6, Loyola Marymount leading. And a foul on the floor as Josh Perkins was trying to force the action. So we get our first timeout. It's a good start if you're Loyola Marymount. Everything you want, but if you're Gonzaga, you need some more of this.
Last couple weeks, you would think, man, this team has a legit chance to win a national title.
Even without Killian Till.
Agree.
Yeah.
It's a major loss, but they got through the first 10 games or so this year without him with a stress fracture, allowing some other guys to fill into roles, but he's now out for the season with a new injury.
Norvell with a jumper pulls the Zags within 2. Now Scott down low, nice job by LMU moving without the ball, but Kispert with a good block on Douglas, and the Zags get the ball.
Good block by Kispert is right. Got screened, didn't give up on the play, got himself back into the mix, came up with a block shot. That's one of the little things that Gonzaga's staff preaches time and time again. Stay with the play. You get screened, don't quit, don't die on the screen, get back in the play.
See if they can get Hachimura involved. Hasn't touched the ball yet. They don't need that when Clark's doing that.
Not at all. As quick athletically off the ground as anybody. That time knifing through Scott and Marcuson, who both tried to take a charge.
The early lead by the Lions gone. We're tied at 11. Marcuson trying to be aggressive. 7'3", working on the smaller Hachimura. Perkins, nice pass. Clark tried to dunk it a little too far away.
Like the ball slipped out of his hands going up.
Quintana has checked in and immediately finds out what a good defensive player Brandon Clark is.
He has been superb on that end of the floor, averaging over 3 blocks a game. And Quintana will learn. You get by your man, you've got to be aware of where Brandon Clark is.
Quintana is one of the good playmakers on this team. Comes off the bench for instant offense. Good three-point shooter too.
He's made a nice jump from freshman to sophomore year. Last year was more of a backup point guard, just initiated offense. This year looks to score.
Shot clock down to 3. And Bateman got bailed out because Crandall reached in and fouled him.
Those are the fouls that drive coaching staffs crazy. You've played great D and you foul 30 feet away from the basket with 3 seconds on a shot.
Bateman with a pretty good look. Marcuson, nice job keeping it alive. And then Bateman throws it away. Gonzaga ball. Pace of play, Dan, Gonzaga, as good as anybody. Is LMU doing a good job slowing them down?
As of now, I think they have. I mentioned how slow LMU wants to play, but Gonzaga, 7th fastest pace in the country. And it goes without saying, if you have more talent on your roster, which Gonzaga does throughout the WCC, why wouldn't you want more possessions?
Marcuson too careless, and Clark picked his pocket. And Gonzaga with another turnover.
Careless pass by Perkins there, trying to thread the needle with kind of a spin bounce pass to Crandall. You're not going to get many great opportunities in transition against LMU. When you do, you've got to be solid with the ball.
Gonzaga's turned the ball over 3 times already, Dan.
They're a team that only turns it over 10 times per game on the season. Matter of fact, they had a game this year, only 2 turnovers for the entire game against Santa Clara when they won by 59.
59. I mean, it's almost like I want to correct you that's a mistake, but it's not.
They've had some good teams over the years, but we talked about it earlier. This might be their best.
Zafir Williams thought he had made it. Started walking away, but it didn't go in.
Those are ones you have to make if you're going to knock off Gonzaga.
And a jump ball. Nice defense by Williams. Atoning for the missed layup on the other end.
Zafir Williams, sophomore from down the road in Long Beach, California. Started most of last season. He's been in and out of the starting lineup this year with Eli Scott, but doing a nice job staying between himself and the basketball with Clark. You get your hand on top of the ball. It's a good call by the official.
We've been tied at 11 for a couple minutes now. That's Jordan Bell, 23, who's checked in for Mike Dunlap. Bateman is quick off the dribble, but a great defensive recovery.
He's creative. His ability to create space to get that shot off is something, but you're going against a 7-footer in Petrushev and a shot blocker like Clark. You got to make a better decision.
3 is Petrushev. His minutes have gone up since Tilly went down. And there's Petrushev and 1. So Petrushev is a guy, Dan, who's got a much bigger role now, right?
With Tilly out, Petrushev steps into major opportunities so far, making the most of them. Slipping on the pick and roll, nice hands on the catch, finish. We've got a good one here early. Loyola 11, the Zags 13.
And then it's #1 Tennessee on the school record 19-game winning streak at Rupp to take on #5 Kentucky. Kentucky, boy, they've got a tough break against LSU, Dan, on the non-goaltending call. Both games also streaming live on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. They couldn't review the goaltending call.
Yeah, they couldn't review it. Tough break for Kentucky. It'll be interesting to see how a young ball club like Kentucky bounces back. But you're right. Goaltending should have been called, but due to the rules and how they're stated now, they could not overrule the call on the floor.
What do you think of the development of Petrushev, Dan?
Well, I think he came on early this season with Tilly out and got his feet wet and learned what he needs to do to be a successful player at this level. Tilly comes back, takes those minutes, gives him a chance to really grind it out in practice and get ready. His opportunity's back in front of him with Tilly out again.
Only a freshman. Williams misses, and Petrushev grabs the rebound.
Well, if you look at Petrushev, I mean, he's averaging 7.5 points in only 12 minutes a game. I mean, he's a 3rd or 4th option when he's on the floor. He just is a ball magnet. He finds open space.
Petrushev high up to Hachimura, who got bumped down below, taking his time to come up.
We talked about Petrushev scoring the ball, but you see the high-low look. McClendon coming underneath Hachimura. Could have been a dangerous play, but that's been a staple of Gonzaga offensively for over 20 years, since even before Mark Few took over, was the high-low. They run high-low action, big to big, as well as anybody in the country over the last 20, 25 years.
They're reviewing this, Dan, because I want to see maybe a flagrant. Maybe they got him down low. What do you think here?
I'm sure you almost kind of have to take a look at it when somebody takes a hard fall. But
he
I don't
undercut him, but I think it was inadvertently.
Yeah, I would think that's just a common foul.
I don't think he was trying to. 25 is Jeffrey McClendon. He was just trying to spin around on Rui, right?
It looked like, yeah, he tried to fight from being in a front position to get back on the backside. That should just be a common foul. Keep playing.
Coach is emphasizing the hook and hold this year, the travel, and now the flagrants. Let's hear what they say.
And with the emphasis on undercutting in the rules this year, it is being called a flagrant one, which will result in 2 free throws for Hachimura in the ball.
Mike Dunlap does not understand that. He says, what am I supposed to do? That guy's bigger, he's stronger. I'm just trying to get around.
It looked to me as if McLennan was in the front trying to get back into a good guarding position, and he slipped. There was no purposeful intent.
Right.
Just happened to undercut him when he slipped.
I understand Dunlap's a great coach. I agree. He's like, what's my guy supposed to do? How do you want him to guard Rui Hachimura?
Guys Hachimura's size have trouble guarding Hachimura, let alone giving up 6 inches as McLennan is. So you see he goes from the front, trying to get back in a good defensive position, and his feet just slip. And unfortunately, that leads him to a little bit of an undercut on Hachimura.
It's a 10-0 Gonzaga run right now. And Loyola has not scored in the last 4 minutes and 49 seconds.
Gonzaga has changed up their defense a couple times in that stretch. 3/4 court pressure. But they've also, with their personnel, have been able to switch 1 through 5.
Kispert for 3. And Putra, that was a mouthful. I couldn't get it out. I was trying to say Petrusev, and it just wasn't coming out. But he committed the foul. I should get to know his name pretty well because he's going to be a key factor for the Zags. Now Bateman brings it over the timeline. Nice shot and hanging in the air by Damian Douglas.
Freshman from Hanford, California. Has a lot of upside for LMU. He's got a chance to be a really nice player in this league. Long, athletic.
Lions break a 5-minute scoring drought here. Now Crandall step back for 3. Kispert tried to save it and goes out of bounds.
Crandall still finding his way. Grad transfer from North Dakota is still finding his way, but Douglas on the nice penetration and finish in transition. But back to Crandall, he's a player who he's aware of Gonzaga. Last year, North Dakota came in to the McCarthy Athletic Center. He had 28 points and hit a 3 to force overtime against Gonzaga a season ago.
And then decided to join him.
You can't beat him, might as well join him.
Might as well. Marcusson making his presence felt. All 7-3 of it.
Scott, nice little alley-oop pass. And I'm not sure if Marcusson even had to jump.
Petrusev counters with a 3 for the Zags.
Such a weapon to have a 7-footer that can stroke the 3 like he does. You double big to big on Rui Hachimura, makes the correct decision. Petrusev over the top.
Bateman inside, goes at everybody, and Douglas tips it in.
5 offensive rebounds now for the Lions. That is going to be a point of emphasis for Mark Few and his staff, because you can't give Loyola Marymount second chance opportunities the way they have.
How about the big fella, Dan?
Make yourself available at the rim. Double team comes. Marcusson did the right thing there. And then Marcusson doubles on the other end. Hachimura with the correct read, finding his fellow big man. Petrusev knocking it down from 3.
Mike Dunlap said at shoot-around, you've got to stay with the Zags because they try to deliver a punch-out blow and knock you in the face early on, and then some teams never recover. But if you can hang a little bit, you build the confidence, and you think, okay, maybe we can play with them.
Absolutely. Gonzaga has gone on some enormous runs this season. I'm talking 30-2 runs, 18-0 runs.
Beating USF and Santa Clara by combined 78 points. I mean, 2 good basketball teams.
Yeah, USF, absolutely. They put together a nice season under Kyle Smith. And St. Mary's has just been one of the better teams on the West Coast the last 10, 12 years.
Scott gave it back to Ali Piaz, who missed it and got a foul underneath.
Eli Scott directing traffic. Low block and on the mid-post. Second time, he's had a nice find. First one was to Marcuson. That time to Ali Piev on the back cut. High school teammates with Lonzo Ball, who's now with the Lakers.
Ali Piev for three. Tipped out of bounds off the Lions. Gonzaga ball. Four-point lead for the Zags. Under 9 minutes to go, first half. Gonzaga, margin of victory in conference games over 31 points. And yet their fourth turnover, and here's Bateman. And he lays it in ahead of Hachimura. It's a two-point game again.
What a burst of speed in transition, and then the awareness to shield Hachimura.
Clark, terrific speed and fine for Hachimura.
Wow. You're talking about
that spin.
A 4 or 5 minute at the college level. The quickness of that spin move and then the fine to Hachimura. People were so concerned when Tilly went out for the year, not knowing what Brandon Clark was going to provide. Well, he's provided an awful lot. 16 points, 8 rebounds a game on the season to go with 3 blocks a game.
LMU has been dominating in the paint. 16 of their 19 have come inside. Now Scott. Everything but going in there. A nice spin move. Clark's got the height against Scott. It's good defense. Now Hachimura gets the offensive rebound. Shot clock down to 9.
It's a tough cover if you're Marcuson. Hachimura with the quickness, the ability to put the ball on the deck.
Mike Dunlap wants a timeout.
Dunlap is going to talk some things over, and one of the things he's going to have to talk over is how do we stop Brandon Clark? Well, nobody's figured it out up till this point in WCC play. When you have a big that puts the ball on the deck and creates for others like that, it is difficult. Gonzaga starting to pull away behind the play of Clark and Hachimura. The replay, you know that was offensive goaltending, but as the rule states, you can't change that. So how do they come back from that? Does Coach Cal get their interest and their attention? I believe he will.
Markinson too strong.
Yeah, but Tennessee, holy cow.
Yeah,
they are good.
What a spectacular move by James Bateman. Saw the shot could have been blocked and reversed to the other side.
He's got the creativity to be able to get in the lane, and then you've got to have the skill to finish.
Crandall left open on the right wing.
Loyola changing defenses again.
Douglas with a runner. Right place, right time. And he gets fouled by Jones.
He has been very active, has Douglas, today in transition and on the glass. But Bateman comes off that pick and roll. Hachimura not up at the point of the screen, allowing Bateman to survey the situation. Get your shoulder down as a guard, get into the paint, and then if you can finish the way he does, you are going to be a problem.
Hey folks, NBA All-Star Weekend begins tomorrow in Charlotte, and the celebrity game is on ESPN again this year. Hall of Famer Dawn Staley coaches the home team, all with Charlotte roots, including our own Jay Williams, while future Hall of Famer Sue Bird coaches the away team, featuring last year's game MVP Quavo. And the four-point line is back this year for the whole game, not just the second half. 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. We got a great one here at Loyola. 2-point game. And now Loyola with a chance to take the lead. Douglas, nice job getting Jones in the air. And he'll go to the line and shoot 2. Dan, is there any way the first 15 minutes of this could have gone better for Mike Dunlap and LMU?
I don't think so. I think what they've done is, they've come out and competed, and they've put some doubt in Gonzaga on the offensive end. Gonzaga's a well-oiled machine on the offensive end. They are changing the defense up constantly, which a lot of times what that does for the offense is it puts a stop sign in front of you trying to figure out, okay, are they in a 1-3-1? Are they in a 2-3? Are they man? And they can put some hesitancy on them offensively. But then on the offensive end for LMU, they've done a nice job with Bateman and Marcusson taking advantage of opportunities.
Keep in mind, LMU is ranked 13th in scoring defense in the country. They've given up only 61.8 points a game. Now, I know the Zags average over 90, but they're playing a good defensive team right now. No foul, no travel. A lot of stuff happened on that possession. Alapia wanted a foul. Clark going right at the bigger Marcusson and got deflected.
It's hard to simulate 7'3" in practice. Clark with a nice attack move comes to a quick stop, but usually he's able to elevate over the top of guys. When you're 7'3", not too many guys can elevate over the top of you.
Marcusson, Bateman, and Douglas with all 24 points for LSU. Douglas left alone. Marcusson flies in and tips it in. And Loyola takes the lead.
11 points now for the big Swede. Gonzaga just seems out of sync, both offensively and defensively. Giving up second chance points, being late, guarding cutters, not fighting through screens these last 7-8 minutes, and then offensively haven't been able to finish the way they normally do.
Boy, Gersten would have erupted if that had gone down.
It would have.
Clark shoots the 3. And Hachimura gives the Zags another chance. Norvell too strong. Gonzaga getting all kinds of second chances. Norvell misses a layup. The ball certainly not bouncing Gonzaga's way right now. They've gone 0 for their last 8 field goals. And now a turnover by LMU, and then Douglas commits the foul. But right now, if you're Loyola Marymount, you are very happy with many things, including the play of your big man, the 7'3" Marcusson. Loyola Marymount up by 1.
Touch. He's made himself a presence by posting on a high-low as well as flashes. And then when you're his size, try to be active on the offensive glass, which he's done a nice job of that this evening.
Kispert ties the game at 26 with the free throw. Under 3 to play, tied here in Hank's house. Great Hank gathers in Bo Kimball. 30-year anniversary is next year of that team. Scott blocked by Hachimura, and Lions will keep it. Quintana's instant offense, but instant denial by Clark. Perkins thought about it and drew the foul on Bateman.
What a luxury to have Brandon Clark protecting the rim. Quintana, even, you can't see it on the replay there, but he drove at an angle to try to get himself space to lay it up off the glass, but Clark was having none of that.
So Josh Perkins, the man who has played in the most games in the nation, 141 games. Hey, coming up on the E-Trade halftime report, we'll check in with John Moran of Murray State. Have you seen this guy? I mean,
wow.
He is unbelievable. The Cougars roll the Huskies, and we'll look ahead to a huge Saturday. John Moran is a human highlight film.
He is. I mean, athletically, he is unbelievable, but at that point guard position, you have to have skill and IQ, and he is showing that he has that in spades. He's going to be a top 5 pick in the NBA come June.
Nice defense, but a better shot by Peter Herman, who's checked in. Played well in the last 2 games, and they're using him more and more. He's a senior.
If you're going to knock off the number 3 team in the country, you're going to have to get contributions everywhere. Loyola Marymount's getting that.
Now, Donald Gibson did a little Dikembe Mutombo. I don't know if you want to do that against the Zags.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to get this Gonzaga ball club riled up. Gibson is in the game for defensive purposes. What do they call that? Your mouth writing a check your body can't cash?
Right. Gonzaga's gone over 5.5 minutes without a field goal. Perkins, too strong. Offensive foul on Bateman.
Give Gino Crandall a lot of credit. Read that move in transition. Slides, stays in front, takes the charge. This crowd doesn't like it, but that's the right call. Great defensive effort there by Gino Crandall.
Hachimura, beautiful inside.
Loyola back into his zone that possession. Hachimura does such a nice job making himself available in the high post area, and then he's a tough cover when he catches it there.
Scott draws the foul. Foul on Kispert. And Scott will shoot 2.
Well, Scott has yet to score tonight, but he's had a definite impact on this game. Only credited for 2 assists, but you can see the skill level. They run a lot of things through him, whether at the elbow, where then he's a playmaker, facilitator, or sometimes even on the low block, trying to get a double team to come focus in on him, and then he's got the ability to find guys as cutters or skip passes on the weak side.
1-point game now. 1:05 left. First half. Perkins left it for Clark, and Clark was clobbered.
Clark was clobbered is right. And that's one thing that we haven't really touched on, but I think defensively we've talked about how good Loyola Marymount is throughout the season, and one of the reasons is they are physical, but for the most part they're physical without fouling, and that's a mindset you have to have from the start, that every possession, every catch is going to be made difficult, and Coach Dunlap's done a nice job getting that team to buy into that philosophy.
So Clark, who by the way was not on everybody's watch list, you know, the wooden watch list, all that, he put out on Twitter, just fuel for fire, bro, fuel for fire. Why would you want to make him angry?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
I mean,
not a good idea. He should be on watch lists.
He should be. And then those watch lists you mentioned come out, and then last week the WCC Player of the Week, where he averaged just a pedestrian 22 points, 11 rebounds, 4 blocks a game.
In beating those Bay Area schools by 78. Final minute of the first half. Loyola Marymount Lions have played tremendous for the first 20. Now Bateman's in trouble, but Peter inside now. I'll tell you what, Peter Herman's made an instant contribution.
He has played well, that's for sure. But with a shot blocker like Clark on you, little up fake, get him up, create space, spin away from it.
The crowd here at Loyola Marymount on their feet. It is loud. Crandall misses. Loyola Marymount will have the ball with 2 seconds left. Well, the first half went tremendous if you're a Loyola Marymount fan. Yes, you're leading, you're losing by 1 point to Gonzaga, but whew, you're pretty happy with that. Coming up on the E-Trade halftime report, Chris Cotter, Dallin Cuff, and all the news around college basketball. So far, Gonzaga up by 1, but the third team in the country getting everything they wanted by the home Lions.
Guy who's luckily able to see Gonzaga quite a bit by living in Spokane, and I haven't seen that number all year. Gonzaga's backcourt must play much better. 1 of 11 combined in the first half from the field.
They're the #1 shooting team in the country, 52%. Perkins, a long three, and Perkins knocks it down.
He knocked it down, and then he had something to say to the LMU student section behind us.
Perkins was not happy with his first half. Most of the Zags weren't.
Mentioned the struggles of the backcourt being 1 of 11, but the front court play did their job. Clark with 8, Hachimura with 10, and Petrushev off the bench with 6 big ones.
McClendon misses. Marcuson tried, and here come the Zags. Nice ball movement by Gonzaga. Kispert left alone. And back-to-back threes for Gonzaga to start the second half and open up a 7-point lead.
LMU turning up the pressure, doubling and trying to trap the ball, but Gonzaga, great ball movement, both possessions getting wide open looks from the 3.
Mike Dunlap immediately calls a timeout. He talked about not letting Gonzaga get on a run. That's just what the #3 team has done to start the second half. In the matchup against Portland, and then the team remembered for honoring him with a run to the Elite 8. So it was a team that they will honor next year on the 30-year anniversary, Dan.
I remember being a kid and loving watching those teams play because of their ability to play so fast, but more importantly for me, shoot a ton of threes, which was out of the ordinary at that time.
That team led the nation in scoring. They did it 3 straight years. They reached the Elite 8 as an 11 seed. They eventually lost to the champ, UNLV.
Those UNLV teams were as good as they got in the late 80s, early 90s. They were as dominant in their conference as Gonzaga has started off this season.
I mean, this is Gersten Pavilion, but it's also Hank's house. There's no question. But you think of Loyola Marymount, you think of Hank Gatherer.
And I've gotten to know quite a few people that played against him in college, and they said he was unbelievable.
Well, the jump ball. So Loyola's only scored 1 bucket this half. Good D by Perkins. And a nice job by Scott going up against the taller Clark.
Absolutely. Shield the ball from the defender and use that big backside of his to create more space.
Hachimura from Clark with a quick answer.
Quick is right. I mean, Gonzaga gets from one end of the floor to the other very fast, and when you've got bigs that can make decisions like Clark and Hachimura, it makes it even more difficult. A nice high-low for the dunk.
Marcusson in some trouble. Douglas reverses it. Damian Douglas is having a nice game. 9 points for the Lions. Bateman trying to tie it up.
This pace here in the second half definitely favors Gonzaga. You're going to shoot an early three like that one from Bateman. You've got to go in.
Clark with a little jump hook. Reminds me a little, Dan, of when Gonzaga played at USF. It was a close game throughout until the very end when USF just would not go away.
Absolutely, get that feel. LMU, they've come to play tonight. Here in the second half, they're running their offense with patience, but also with a good pace. Their cuts are hard, their screens are there, there's space on the floor. They just haven't knocked down shots yet in the second half.
Scott with a good bounce, and that's the type of night it is for LMU. Lions could tie it on this possession, down by 3. Damian Douglas trying to force the action. He got fouled. He'll go to the free throw line and shoot 2. Second half, LMU proving they are not going to go away. Inside, Scott among the trees. Damian Douglas making his presence known. The big fellow is in trouble. Why not bail him out? 42-39. We'll be back to Gersten. The third-ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs on top. And the reason it's so close, you look at these numbers, the thing that jumps out to me, Dan, is the field goal percentage.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. Gonzaga, as you mentioned, leads the country in field goal percentage. In that first half, only shot 32% from the field. Obviously, they're not in sync tonight offensively, but you got to give a lot of that credit to Loyola Marymount because they've been physical. They've been early with double teams. They've changed defenses up. They've kept Gonzaga on their toes.
Jonathan Williams, former Zag great, here to support Gonzaga.
Playing with the South Bay Lakers now. Had a short stint with the Lakers earlier this season, and Lakers GM Rob Pelinka is one of many NBA front office personnel here tonight.
Norvell's been kind of quiet lately. Kispert. Only one look.
That's what Loyola Marymount's going to have to do. Limit Gonzaga to difficult contested outside jump shots and limit to just one shot. They did a nice job in the first half of keeping Gonzaga off the offensive glass.
Herman inside, scored a couple of those jump hooks in the first half, but that one won't go. Hachimura draws the foul on Bell, and Hachimura will go to the free throw line and shoot 2. You agree with this call, Dan?
Well, the initial part I did not, but the second little reach over by Bell as Hachimura goes up is definitely a foul. You've got to think as a defender, you have to be straight up and down. You cannot take your cylinder of the straight up and down into the opponent, the offensive player. That's where the foul was called, not on the initial bump.
Now Lapiev comes back in. We mentioned Gonzaga's close games. They've won 14 straight. They've won all their conference games, obviously. Their closest game in conference play was the one we mentioned at USF. They won by 13 on January 12th.
And that game was close until about the 4-minute mark, where Gonzaga finished out on one of those big-time runs.
Herman finishes with the left. Great ball movement by Loyola. Norvell made 1-3 to start this half. Has not scored otherwise.
And Coach Few did not like that look there from Norvell. A little bit of a rush.
Herman with another tip. Lions within one.
Herman has been active. He has done a nice job presenting himself on cuts and then now getting interested on the offensive glass. But the Lions have done a really nice job offensively, of moving Gonzaga defensively. It's so hard to score on individually. It's the second and third movements and rotations that Gonzaga has been late to. So you put them in rotation and all of a sudden your closeout's coming from a different angle or on to not your particular matchup. And then when that happens and you're cross-matched, you must take care of the glass. And that's one thing the Lions have done a nice job of now. 10 offensive rebounds, leading to 14 second chance points.
Both teams with 2 fouls this half. Quintana comes in for a little instant offense. Right now, he's got to help play some defense, and someone falls asleep, and Norvell gets an easy deuce.
Great job finding the open spot against the zone and baseline out of bounds. Not enough teams look to score on baseline out of bounds in college, in my opinion. That so many teams just throw it out to half court and reset their offense. That's not the case with Gonzaga.
Scott tried to lob it into the 7-3 Markison, and Gonzaga fouled him down low. Third team foul on the Zags. .32 of their 43 points for Loyola in the paint, Dan Dickow.
Keeping them in it. Markison has been very good. And then Herman has given him a nice spark off the bench scoring-wise. But Scott has been more of a facilitator, looking to score now on Clark on the low block.
Scott goes right at him, bumps him. And Clark's like, I'm just trying to get out of the way. That's how physical Scott is.
Scott, kind of a throwback player, somebody that constantly searches contact, undersized as a 4. I don't necessarily like playing the comparison game, but the old player that he reminds me of is an Adrian Dantley. Just tries to back you down, If he gets help, he'll kick it. If not, he's going to look to score himself.
Our next UFC fight, Fight Night Sunday. Former heavyweight champ Cain Velasquez taking on Francis Ngannou at 9 Eastern in the main event on ESPN and ESPN Deportes. You can watch the early prelims on ESPN Plus starting at 5:30 with the rest of the prelims on ESPN and Deportes starting at 7. Start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com. Speaking of plus, that's a bonus having that guy on the team.
That's an easy +2 right there.
Yeah.
Go the other end. But if you double like Loyola Marymount did that time, your backside has to be there. Nobody was there to cover up Hachimura, leading to the easy dunk.
They're letting Scott catch it too low in the block, aren't they, Dan?
Yes.
Clark going against the 7-footer.
Looked like Clark may have gotten away with a little shuffle of the feet, but ref doesn't think so. Play on.
They are going through Marcusson every time now. Perkins to Clark, counted, and he'll go to the free throw line. I thought for a moment Perkins was out of control. I guess I was wrong. Brandon Clark can do many things, and he and Rui Hachimura are bailing Gonzaga out when they are not having their best night offensively. Zags still lead 52-47, back to Gersten Pavilion. Recently it's continuing.
He has. He's had a major impact on this game, both distributing, as you see, to Hachimura, but also making sure to keep the defense honest and finishing himself. Whether it's off the bounce, creating it, or finding open areas off of other players' penetration, Brandon Clark continues his hot play.
Hachimura and Clark have both scored double figures in 25 straight games. First time that has ever happened under Mark Few. That's an unbelievable statistic.
Well, it shows you the consistency that those two guys have brought it every single night this season. I mean, you keep thinking, all right, one of them is going to have a bad game, and it just hasn't happened yet.
The lead now 6 as Hachimura gets a little breather on the bench. Crandall fell down on the screen. It allowed Bateman with the look, but he missed it. And Scott with a nice look to Douglas, who was wide alone. Perkins too strong.
But I like that shot from Perkins. I think he has a tendency, because he's a really good passer, at times he looks to get other guys involved a little bit too much. He came in as a high-scoring point guard, a really good shooter, has evolved into, you know, a consummate team guy. You don't want to take that away from him, but he's got to look to score himself.
Wild scramble that leads LMU with some numbers as Scott is finding everybody, and he's found Douglas twice in a row.
Eli Scott is putting together a heck of a second half. 10 points of his 11 coming here after intermission. But he does such a nice job of being patient when the ball is in his hands. He's not affected by physical play because he's so strong himself. He's a willing passer, and he can really find guys.
You mentioned the Adrian Dantley comparison. I like that. Big backside, smart IQ, knows how to use his body.
I don't think he is not the shooter that an Adrian Dantley was, you know, but that could potentially come with time. But for an undersized 4 who likes contact, his ability to make plays for others is a big benefit for Coach Dunlap.
Scott and Douglas have 16 of LMU's 20 second half points. Perkins with another turnover for Gonzaga. 6 turnovers. And just like that, Hachimura is going to come back in for Coach Mark Few.
Just when you think Gonzaga is about to get on a run, missed shot or a turnover, and then LMU comes down and takes advantage and scores.
Shot clock down to 7. Quintana in trouble. Douglas. And there's Scott again. Active everywhere, keeping it alive in a fresh shot clock. Douglas has it swatted by Clark. And Scott pushes Clark in the open court, which saved a highlight film.
It actually
because
did.
Clark had bad intent.
Most people didn't like that foul call here just because the negative perception of a foul, but quite frankly, that might have saved the rim because he was timing his steps on that one.
Loyola Marymount, as tough as they're playing, Dan, is 0 for 9 from 3. Have not made a 3.
They're a team that typically doesn't shoot a lot of threes. Only shoot it at 31% on the year. Not quite 7 makes a game. They shot it really well in Spokane at 5 of 9, but you know, this team is built on penetrators and post-up guys, not necessarily shooters.
Hachimura. Herman with the rebound. This place will get very loud if they score and tie this thing up. 3 on the clock. Quintana gets it to go. Loyola Marymount is leading the number 3 team in the nation. Their first 3 of the game for the Lions. And Perkins immediately comes back and draws the foul. Scott got him. Perkins will shoot 2.
Quintana with the shot clock winding down on the wing, a stare down 3 in the friendly roll here in Hank's house. His teammates loved it.
Perkins momentarily quiets the crowd and ties the game. Zags back up by 1. Gonzaga has made 17 of their 18 free throws. The Lions 9 of 13. Scott wanted a post up with Crandall guarding him smaller. They didn't get it to him. Now the clock's down to 4. Bateman's got to do something. Herman out-hustles everybody.
Great defensive possession, comes up empty for Gonzaga. You play 30 seconds of great D, and you have a lapse on the glass. Well, Marymount's going to run this clock down again and try to create something.
Bateman went right at Clark. Norvell. But you mentioned it, Dan, they're only getting 1 shot.
They are. And Norvell has struggled tonight. 1 of 6 now from the field, 5 points, but he's a guy that a missed shot or 2 isn't going to affect him. 22 in the second half at Creighton to basically will them to the win in Omaha in front of 19,000.
Quintana left alone. I think he was surprised he was that open at the rim.
Golden opportunity to extend the lead.
Crandall. A good sequence for Gonzaga as Loyola missed an easy one and Gonzaga countered with an easy one. This would be the biggest upset in Loyola Marymount history if they were to somehow pull this off.
They want to keep this game close. Gonzaga has not been challenged for a while. As Bateman hits the difficult floater along the baseline. In a position like this, you get your home crowd again.
Norvell missed the last one. He does not miss 2 in a row. Zags up by 4.
Sorry, Dave. One of the first times Gonzaga has really been able to get into the paint cleanly with dribble penetration, collapse the defense, find the open shooter. First truly good look for Norvell probably since the first half.
Now Bateman, who's been spectacular for the Lions. Scott missed the dunk, but Herman steals it. Great job by Peter Herman for Loyola to rush back and steal that ball from behind. Crandall and Clark had him trapped, but instead they fouled Eli Scott. This would have brought Gersten down. Instead, it almost brought the rim down, but it didn't. We'll be back. Zags up by 4. That surprise you?
It doesn't. I mean, if you look at pretty much any of the major analytics, whether it's Ken Palm, whether it's ESPN Power Rankings, those are the teams that you're going to see at the top.
Four-point game. Bateman has double digits, so does Scott for the Lions. Now Markuson has a mismatch as Perkins is fronting him. Instead, Bateman shoots it and gets it. It's a 2-point game again. Clark right at the 7-footer.
It's just a difficult cover ask of Markuson to sprint down the floor and beat Clark to the spot. So Clark gets low post position, very good. And then ask him to guard it. That's just a nice finish by Clark.
Bateman again. Clark gets the rebound. Hachimura with a nice move. The lead is 6. And a turnover by Loyola.
Miscommunication there for the Lions. Markuson thought Dodson should stay. Well, Douglas cut, but it's been Rui Hachimura and Brandon Clark getting things done for the Zags. Clark with the finish over the top of Markuson, and then Hachimura getting his shoulder by the defense, and another nice finish. Zags up 6, 4 minutes left.
We are back. We mentioned this earlier, the consistency of this dynamic duo, Rui Hachimura and Brandon Clark. The first tandem in Gonzaga history under Mark Few to reach double-digit scoring in each of the last 25 games. That's every game they've played this season. And now you can make it 26, Dan, because they have double digits tonight as well.
Yeah, I mean, the two constants have been those guys in double figures. But you look back and you would think there's been a couple other duos at Gonzaga that may have done that. Adam Morrison, JP Batista, Kyle Wilcher, Kevin Pangos are two that come to mind. But you're talking about two front court players, not a guard and a big where you kind of work off each other. Share the same space, share a very similar role.
Key defensive possession here for Loyola, who just turned the ball over, and they're down by 6. Clock not on their side, and Hachimura has now scored 2 straight.
Nice job there, isolating Hachimura on the smaller Scott.
Hachimura has a 20-point spread right now. Quiet 20 for him.
Quiet is right.
Was not
20.
allowed 20 for him.
No.
Nice D, but a foul called. Dan, he doesn't seem to force it. He's just kind of always under control.
He's absolutely always under control, and that's one of the reasons I think NBA scouts are so interested in what he can do. He's athletic, but he also has a patience to his game. He's skilled. I think in time he's going to become a three-point shooter. He's not at this moment, but if you look at his form, it looks mechanically sound. He shoots it at about 46% from the three-point line, but it's a low volume, but he hasn't been asked to shoot a lot of threes at this level. I think in time that will change, and he will be a really good shooter from the perimeter at the next level.
One thing Loyola has not done great is shoot the free throw. And it's one thing they'll have to do down the stretch if they were to have a chance to win this game. The Zags have been on a little bit of a roll here, and they've gone through Hachimura every time. Now just Hachimura and Herman fouls him.
That was actually a set play coming out of a full court situation. They were looking for Hachimura on the lob over the top. If they didn't, he was going to spin back and get on the low block. I mean, you have him isolated on Herman. I'm sure Gonzaga is going to like that matchup almost every time.
Next foul by Loyola. Gonzaga will shoot the free throws. And Jones didn't like the look there, so he called a timeout. Mark Few, he may have to have that shirt dry cleaned after this one. This is not easy. NBA All-Star Weekend begins tomorrow in Charlotte, and the celebrity game is on ESPN again this year. Hall of Famer Don Staley coaches the home team, all with Charlotte roots, including our own Jay Williams, while future Hall of Famer Sue Bird coaches the away team, featuring last year's MVP, Quavo. And the four-point line is back, this year for the whole game, not just the second half, 7 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Under 3 minutes to play. LMU has been in it the entire game, trailed by only 1 at the half. And now there's only 3 on this shot clock on this possession. Norvell, and that could be a backbreaker.
Wow. He always wants the ball in clutch situations. He delivered on that possession.
Gonzaga's biggest lead is right now 11. But another turnover that causes Mark Few to stomp his feet. They have not been great with the basketball tonight.
Carelessness from Perkins, picking up the ball right at half court and then a shovel pass with the possession before. Zach Norvell wants the ball in big situations because he's had success in the past. No different there, the knockdown 3.
Zags have made their last 6 shots. It's a 9-0 run here with 2 minutes to play. Loyola needs a hoop here in the worst way. And Scott is fouled. Hard to get in front of that big body.
Well, double team came. He did a nice job of handling it, recognizing it, and then splitting it, getting himself fouled into the line to shoot 2. But you mentioned it a minute or so ago. Loyola has struggled from the free throw line at times.
Tonight, from the free throw line, just 9 of 15, 60%. And Scott is 5 of 9. I mean, at some point you have to go for a steal here or make some fouls because they've got no time left in, right?
We expect Gonzaga to run the clock down a little bit.
Hachimura did a nice job of getting around Herman, and they call an offensive foul. It looked like he got fouled, but
it was a nice job by McClendon stepping in front to take the charge, but it looked as if
Herman got him on the side,
knocked him on the side of the head, and that's what Coach Few and the staff over there is asking for.
I think he got knocked in the head before he ran over Loyola. Now timeout by Mike Dunlap. What's the game plan right now if you're Mike Dunlap, man?
Well, you kind of are in the point now where you have to play a little bit away from what your personality is. You typically take a lot of time off the clock and then try to create towards the end of the shot clock and then attack the offensive glass. But being down 11 with a little bit under a minute 30 left, you've got to get into offense much quicker. So I would expect to see maybe a quick post-up look for Eli Scott or something up top, whether it's a pick and roll or an isolation set for James Bateman.
The three's not your friend either. They're 1 for 12, so it's not like they can just score in bunches real quick.
No, but I don't think you can be too selective. If an open three presents itself, go ahead and take it. You know, but you want to get into offense quickly, and then Marcusson, Herman, you need to go to the offensive glass because you've had success there tonight.
Bateman will interview. Throw the court in the back, and now Quintana. No foul as Norvell fell down. Now Scott inside, spinning. No. Herman tries to tip it. Herman gets it again and puts it in. Peter Herman's had a tremendous game for the Lions. The lead is 9. And Gonzaga turns it over. 50 seconds left, though. Need to get a shot up. Lions taking way too much time. Now the three is launched. And Gonzaga gets it, and Scott has to foul Norvell.
No, but you're right. McClendon is hesitant to shoot the three early in the shot clock because that's not what his game's built around.
But you said
that might have been their best look. Yeah.
You got to do things you're uncomfortable with, you said. You were right.
If you're going to beat the number 3 ranked team in the country and you're down 9, under a minute left to go, you've got to be willing and ready to step up to the challenge.
Norvell with 11 points. He has not shot a free throw yet tonight, but he makes it. I was impressed with Loyola tonight. What a performance here.
They came to play. They were patient on the offensive end. They executed. They did a nice job on the defensive end, making Gonzaga work for everything.
Hachimura, by the way, with his 15th 20-point game this season. Bateman gets it stripped. Hachimura gathers it, and Bateman fouls him. You know, I didn't want to, Dan, get off the air without mentioning how much you love this gym, because I did a little homework. And Dan Dickau in this gym made 9 threes in a half versus LMU in 2002, and you finished with 34 points. Do you have a comment on that?
Those were the days. The only problem is WCC and Gonzaga didn't have a great lucrative TV deal at the time, so there is no video archive of it, but I did have a great teammate, Blake Stepp, a backcourt mate, texted me, reminded me of that at halftime, asking if I was going to bring it up today. I didn't, you did, so thank you.
You're welcome. It's worth bringing up. 9 threes is incredible. So a 13-point game, 24 seconds left. What is Mike Dunlap doing here? Is he just teaching them something? What's the point?
Absolutely right. This is a great teaching moment for a basketball team that, you know, you're not going to win this game, but what you can do is you can prepare your team so if you're in a situation like this over the next couple weeks of WCC play or conference tournament play, that you draw something up on the sideline out of bounds, you are able to execute it, and you can look back and say, hey, look, we've done this before. Let's go out and do it again. Let's
look at scores around the WCC because there were some other teams in action tonight. BYU needed overtime to beat San Diego, 88-82. San Francisco held on at home, 89-77 over Pepperdine. And in the second half, Santa Clara is falling to St. Mary's, 66-52. The updated standings, Gonzaga 10-0. That number 2 seed is important because you get the double bye. So BYU, San Francisco, St. Mary's, whoever were to get that, maybe San Diego, that is critical because you get 2 games off.
Yeah, and that shows you just how important that win for BYU was tonight, because you're right. You get the double bye, advance directly to the semifinals. You know, but if you look at the grouping of teams in the WCC, you can't help but say, hey, the league is better than where it's been over the last few years. But the problem is Gonzaga has just become a lot better themselves.
So Gonzaga started off this game shooting so poorly, they're going to end up shooting over 50%, which is what they do. And they can overcome a night when, let's be honest, Dan, they looked sluggish in the first half.
They did. Loyola Marymount came out. They were the aggressor. Gonzaga was back on their heels. But that's the sign of a championship-type basketball club. You take somebody's best shot, you're not playing your best yourself, you get it figured out, you turn it around, you come back, you get the victory.
So the Gonzaga Bulldogs hold on. Loyola Marymount gave them a great fight. But Dan, your team, they're tough. They're really good. I enjoyed it. It was a good one, my friend.
It was.
Thank you. Gonzaga improves to 24-2. They are 11-0 in the conference, and they extend their conference road winning streak to 29 games, best in the nation. For Dan Dickau and our entire ESPN crew, Dave Feldman, good night from Los Angeles. The Zags win again.